So, hi everybody, and welcome to this panel here on site in Torino, but also welcome to you that are at home watching this online. It's the third and last on-site day today, and we're now. I now have the pleasure of introducing this next panel, which is the importance of non-festival awards. My name is Sigrid Hadenius. I work at Uppsala Short Film Festival, or Uppsala Kortfilmfestival. And here with me today, I have two directors, Una Gunjak, a director from Bosnia, whose acclaimed film The Chicken won the Best European Short Film in 2014, and also Bogdan Mureşanu, a director from Romania, whose film The Christmas Gift won the same award, the Best European Short Film 2018. They are here with us on Zoom. Do you want to say hi, a few words?
Hello, everyone.
Nice to meet you both. This talk today will be a little bit about the importance or non-importance, maybe also, of non-festival awards for short film directors' career. With us today, we also have Pascale Faure from Loyal on Plus, who earlier also worked at Canal Plus, who's here with me today. Welcome.
Thank you.
So tell us a bit about what you're doing now at LOL en Plus. I apologize for my French.
No, it's okay. I created last year this company called LOL en Plus, which is mainly to consulting for short and feature project. And I'm also a consultant in writing residency and call-off project. I'm also doing acquisition for a movie platform. And I spent 20 years in direction of short program in Canal Plus, and it is in this capacity that I can also speak in this discussion.
So you're a very experienced short film advisor.
A little bit.
And where are you based? In Paris?
In Paris.
Yeah,
in Paris.
Okay. Sounds lovely. So I want to start this panel today with asking both Una and Bogdan about their individual experiences with being awarded this prize, the Best European, no, not Best European Film. Best European Short Film. Can you, maybe Una, start with how it was for you in 2014? Maybe you can also mention where your film premiered and how the journey was after the premiere.
Hello, everyone. Buongiorno a tutti. First of all, really sorry for not being with you in Torino. It would have been a pleasure to go back. The Chicken started in May 2014, premiering at the Semaine de la Critique in Cannes. So it premiered in May, and it was quite a full-on roller coaster year for the film, which was kind of crowned with this ceremony in Riga at the European Film Awards. The film had quite a momentum that year, and it really was one of the most spectacular ways to finish a year for the entire journey of actually getting funding for the film and producing it and then premiering it. It was very much back to back, so it almost felt like the same kind of the same wave that was bringing it. It was absolutely spectacular. I think one of the things that I still very much remember and I hold dearest to my heart is before the actual award ceremony and before the award and everything, all the nominees were gathered in Ghent. I think it was Ghent. In Belgium, and we had a screening of our films and we all met. and we spent a couple of days together. And that was quite something very, very extraordinary. It was really, all of the films were different and very good, very, very, very good. And this is where I felt flattered and very privileged to be part of this selection. And also, what it accentuated, it wasn't. It's like it's not. It went further than the competition. It was like, okay, well, this is maybe what it should be, in a sense that all of these films have achieved something in what they're trying to say, have achieved a certain level of excellence and gratification and expression that they're strong enough to represent and to be gathered like this. So not to kind of I never experienced this as some kind of is my film better than the other one, or is that film better than the previous one, and things. So that for me was spectacular. And then of course the award comes, and it's, by all means, it's amazing.
How was, maybe you can say a bit shortly, how did it, after you won the award, how was the journey then after? Did you feel that, were you still selected at festivals, for example, or was this film still selected at festivals? Could you make quite a good sale maybe to television, or how was it after?
It was still very, very good because, as I said, we were still in the year of the production. So that was like, it was 2014. The film was signed 2014. So we still had quite a lot of, quite a bit of a journey. After that, we went to Sundance, which was very nice. And there was this whole new wave of festivals in the United States and in the Americas in general, that was opening up, and where we didn't have premieres before because of the calendar and everything. So that was there was another life that the film was living. We were in New York for the New Directors, New Films, which is a selective festival. It's not a competitive festival, which I also very, very appreciated. But I stopped traveling with the film. Just because I wanted to move on, and I wanted to work. And for the sales, we were very lucky, and I cannot stop repeating that. We had a wonderful distributor and sales agent, Salomon Morisset, who has been with the film since the grassroots, so from the very beginning, before we got into Semaine de la Critique. And who did an amazing job in not just distributing the film to the festivals and having such a wide outreach, but also managing to sell it to the Criterion collection, to the Sundance channel, to several channels in Europe. We already had a deal with Arte because before the film was made, because it was financed through the Robert Bosch Stiftung. So Arte was the one who had it in the Franco-German area. So very good. I really I really never envisaged nor could have dreamt that that short film could go as far.
Thank you so much for that, for describing this journey. I also want to ask Bogdan, how was it for you? Was it a similar journey that you took with your film, The Christmas Gift, in 2018?
Yes, hello everybody, hello from Bucharest. Yeah, it was different because I guess each film and each journey is different, and mine was really, the films was completely another story. It started very slowly. So it premiered in Krakow, and then for a couple of months it didn't happen anything with it. And all of a sudden in October it was screened in Montpellier, and then we found out that Clermont-Ferrand took it, and for the next 2 years it started this almost endless journey. It seemed like And so, yeah, after 1.5 years, it happened the European Film Awards selection, I think, in Tampere. And of course, we were very happy. When we attended the Berlin ceremony, I guess 3 years ago, I don't remember exactly. But for me, it was not as much as it was not so much as the awards are concerned. It was an opportunity to meet great directors that I really highly regard, like Werner Herzog, for instance, Pavel Pawlikowski, the people that I really love. So I remember this. Otherwise, it seemed like a dream, of course. And each award, it's nothing more than a proof that you established a dialogue with some sort of an audience. So I don't believe that much in awards. I know it might sound like a hypocrisy from my part, but I think that the dialogue with your work of art and the world is more important than the awards. So in a way, the question of how important is a non-award festival or not, it's a bit purposeless to me. I think each award or non-award festival is important in this matter, that you can establish a dialogue, as I said. And that's not a proof that your film is of any value, but it's a proof that people are concerned with the matters that you raise, and that your maybe topic or how you did it are of any importance to the world as you deliver this film or whatever.
Did you also experience as Una that, or was it picked up after the awards? Was it also picked up by any television channel, or how was the sales after?
It was actually after this European Film Award ceremony in Berlin. It was shortlisted for the Oscars, or yes, for the 10th. So, and then it was another boom for America. And well, we were lucky to work with people that wanted to work with this film and with us from the very beginning. You know, I mean, they wanted, so maybe they recognized something in the film, or simply they wanted to. So I met Jean-Charles Mille in Clermont-Ferrand, and he has these premiere films in Paris, and he's the TV and net distributor. And I work for the festivals with Mailuki Films, which is a company, it's a friend of mine from Spain. And so they were in the boat with us from the very beginning. So then we just simply enjoyed this, the trajectory of the film. And yeah, I think they did a great job, both in festivals. There were like 200 or something like this. I lost track at a certain point. And then with the TV stations, yes, I remember it was screened in France and in United States and in various countries. Yeah, so it was a, let's say, successful story in the end, and there were no signs at the beginning. That was because it was very hard production and it started slowly, as I said. No one, for instance, when we premiered, no one was interested in this film, so we were kind of I wasn't, but part of the team, you know, that they were kind of disappointed with how the film was received at the premiere. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, it's both films, The Chicken and The Christmas Gift, are very, very lovely films. So I'm very happy that both of them went very well after a while. I wanted to also ask you, Pascale, how when you have in your line of work, how do you see this type of non-festival awards? Is it? Can you see like an attractive value in that? Like, how do you see it? Also, national film awards, for example, if you. Yeah.
For a TV channel, having this kind of award, it's really important, and also distributor knows that an award winning a film is a purchase film. So every year distributors fight to have this kind of awarded films. And only 10 years ago the power of this award was not so strong, but as acquisition of short film have been reduced in most channels, editorial choice go to the most effective, so the awards. So definitely of this kind of film are broadcast and very important.
Yeah, can you tell if it is of course it's a stamp of approval in that sense also for a television channel, but is it also, can you see a rise in audience when it is an awarded film, for example, than a non-awarded film? Is it a big difference, or does it, for example, find new audience if it has an award?
Yes, you can definitively have a better communication on the movie, but it's not so different. But when we have a very short acquisition, you can choose this one because you know that you can do with the press that you want this award, that it's an important, noticeable film.
And how was it, back to Una and Bogdan, how did you experience it was for you to promote this film? Was it easy, did you feel that when you had screenings in, for example, a cinema, did you experience more that audience were more interested in your films than after the award, or how was it? I don't know if you're here still.
We lost Bogdan, I think. This is what I'm getting from the chat. But while Bogdan reappears, I will try to do the justice to the question. To be honest, I didn't attend lots of screenings after the award. 2 or maybe, let's say, maximum 5 that year. And 2 of them were in the States. One of them was in Sundance, and the other one was in New York. And it was also, it's a different type of audience that attended the festival, and I'm not sure that the film was received. Of course, it had all these stamps around, but there was a lot of other really good films in the selection as well. So I don't think this. It has had. I think what it could have brought is the curiosity of the people who maybe were not even interested in the subject, who don't want to, for example, in terms of the chicken, who don't want to watch another short film about the war, don't care about it, which is fair enough, you know. But so maybe that the award kind of brought the curiosity. Oh, let's see what the European Film Award has given its award to. So we go. But I wouldn't say it had a kind of an impact of making it do what it wasn't doing already in terms of itself. It's like, if it's a good film, it's a good film. It's a bad film, it's a bad film, despite the awards. So I cannot really kind of tell you profoundly. Did the audience have a different experience if it was? They definitely look at it maybe with a more critical eye, because you want to see if this was, justify the decision. Was it a good decision to give the award to this film? Were there any better? Why wasn't it the one before or the one after? But I would completely second Bogdan on it. It's a stamp of a conversation with people, and just in that moment managing to communicate a certain feeling and a certain emotion, and that doesn't mean that the rest of the films do not do the same thing. funnily enough, it's really about somehow also the moment when the film enters this festival world, and when it meets the audience, and at what point and how. Lots of things that really are out of the creator's control, like out of the production company's control, director's control, writer's control. It's there, it lives on its own, and sometimes it goes really well, and sometimes it goes less well than deserved.
Do you maybe this is a question for all three of you. Do you feel that these awards, of course, Oscars is one thing, but European Film Awards, for example, are they known for like an audience outside of this industry or outside the film industry? Do people actually care about this award, like a does non-film professionals care about this award?
I'm not sure.
I'm not either. It was a very targeted question. I wanted an answer.
It's really funny. I think it's also a question of how like you don't, apart from a few very lucky festivals that are only centered on shorts and that have actually a wider audience, that is not just film professionals at the festival going to see a bunch of short films because they love it, and that's what they do, so they kind of do their homework. So it's difficult to really measure. Everybody, let's say, I dare to say that most of the audience watching short films at festivals are people who are aware of the awards. So it's I don't know. It's not like the Oscars. They're more kind of the most known to none. I don't think a BAFTA or BAFTA probably, or national award, like National Academy Awards from stronger, bigger, let's say more industry, powerful film industries are maybe do have some effect, but yeah, it would be nice, but I don't know. I don't know how to measure it. Maybe in Clermont-Ferrand, where you have only the short films and these huge, big cinema, and you have it full of audience that watches short films. I'm pretty sure there is an audience for short films, but I haven't experienced that. So
I can testify this, that in Clermont-Ferrand, everybody leaves for shorts, so they queue up. Really, it's amazing. It's really a beautiful festival, beautiful city. So they are really interested. It's a surprise when you're sitting in the hotel and you see that they're queuing up from early in the morning to watch films, and then there is a debate in each restaurant. So it feels very lively, let's say, and it's a beautiful place from this point of view.
So these awards matter, but only in Clermont-Ferrand.
I think there are more, but yeah, more festivals where really films, no matter how long they are, really matter. I'm not so, let's say, hopeless regarding the world of shorts. I've seen a lot of festivals where people were attending, even in, for instance, in Bulgaria, in Varna, there were like really a lot of people going to watch shorts, or in Spain again. So I think there's hope for shorts.
I also wanted to mention, if you in the audience have any questions, both online or here on site, just you can write us online if you have a question, or you can raise your hand here if you have any questions to either of the panelists. I actually wanted to ask how it is with the developing of the next project, for example. Do you experience that this helps when you're, for example, advising short film makers? How do you advise them to also promote this award in terms of like getting ahead with their next project?
Definitely, this is important for this kind of to the transition from short to the feature. It's where it's important because it's a guarantee of quality and security, and this is a point, really the point.
And also for short film, like if the next film is a short film, does it? Do you feel that it is easier to get funding for the next project also?
Yeah, but after that, in general, they want to go to the feature.
It's a very happy thing that people go to feature, of course, but it's nice if they continue doing shorts as well. How was it for you, Bogdan and Una, with your following projects? Did you experience it being easier to receive funding from national funding, but also finding co-producers maybe for other projects?
Yeah, it makes things easier, of course, and smoother. But I want to make shorts in the future because I really love them. Of course, I don't think that feature or shorts, it matters as long as it's authentic and it's cinema. But sometimes I feel that exploring shorts, you have more courage, and you can play around easier than with the feature, which has it takes a lot of money, a lot of people involved. So I would continue to make shorts in the future, but right now I'm working on a sort of like an omnibus, which has the Christmas Gift as the first episode. It was a bit delayed by the pandemic, 2 years, because I had to shoot in winter, and winter times were very hot in Romania regarding this pandemic. But hopefully we will get out. And then it's a feature coming up, I think, hopefully next year.
And is it a pure Romanian production, this next project of yours, or do you work with co-producers as well?
We're in talk with co-producers from France, yes. So we will have an alliance, let's say, yeah.
And how was it for you, Una? Now the chicken has a couple of years already, so you have had some other projects after. Did you also experience that this award, that you could benefit from this award?
My journey was a little bit more complicated, and it comes down to several factors that I don't think have necessarily to do with the impact of the award. The award definitely, as Pascale said, gives a stamp of approval, of security, of people feel more safe and definitely pay attention to what you want to say and what you're trying to say. For me, it was not easy. I did a short film after it, but it was not easy to. I developed for several years. I developed a feature project that we did not manage to gather all the funding, that I had to put in the drawer and start a new one that I'm shooting in a couple of months. So it really wasn't an easy road due to some very concrete circumstances. My home country is Bosnia. I'm based in Paris, and the project was supposed to be shot in Italy. And between Italy and Bosnia, the very meager film fund that we have here, with the co-production in Italy, at which at that point, I think MIBAC didn't have a call out for about 18 months, co-producing with France and then with Croatia. It was a nightmare of a co-production. Not nightmare in terms of the people, but that by all means was absolutely amazing and supportive. But for us to gather 1 million to do a film was almost impossible. It was a 4th year in, and despite all the all the awards and also all the awards that the actual script got, and the development, and it went to Torino Film Lab, and it was in the Cine Foundation in the residence. It just meant for us waiting at least another year until we shoot, and it just felt like a vicious circle. For me, I think there is also another, at least another reason why that didn't take off. The project was completely different from the chicken. I don't know. Maybe it was maybe a feeling, but I had a lot of questions about developing the chicken into a feature film afterwards, which for me never was something that was on the table. It always was a short. This is the thing about shorts are wonderful as they are. You should not make a story that is short into a feature film. And the chicken was always, from day one, a short film. And I wouldn't have done it any other way. So I think there was a certain expectation maybe of me filling in certain shoes, doing certain types of films. This is maybe my personal impression. And this project was a different piece of cake. So it wasn't an easy process. It was really a combination of circumstances that are quite difficult, and it still are, because if I want to finance a film that has something to do with Bosnia, with my home country, I have to go through co-productions, and complicated co-productions, because simply we do not have money to make a feature film here on our own unless it's super low budget, even for our circumstances. So it already complicates the process for everyone, and this is, I was joking if the chicken had won the award and I was I was born in another country and I submitted a phone book, I wouldn't have gotten money for maybe a shitty feature, who knows, but it would have been maybe a little bit easier. This was pretty painful. So the second time around, we just had to adapt to the conditions that we're going to be able to finance the second project. And this is how we're going to do it.
The impact of this kind of award is 1 year. It's 1 year, because after another one. So I saw many filmmakers who won this Oscar, a very important award, and they can transform because they are not ready. When you got this kind of award, you have to be ready for the next step, even if it's a short film. But sometimes it could be a poison gift, because you want to think, you don't know the producer you're going to choose, everything. And I saw many filmmakers can be able to do anything after this kind of award because they didn't prepare anything. You have to be, this kind of award, you have to be strong and to know exactly what you want to do with it, because it's very powerful, but in a very short moment.
It's interesting actually to hear that there could be this negative impacts also, of course, on projects.
It could be, yeah. I saw another one, negative impact. I have the opportunity to speak with a talent detector for Netflix, and she told me that she really worried when a film won this kind of award, a Clermont or a European award, because she considers this award too cinephile. And so when she receives somebody we want this kind of award, she's very careful, because she don't want to go to this author things, and she's really afraid. And I was very afraid she told me that, but I see it's another negative impact.
Oh, so it's like also it could potentially attract audience, but it can also repel audience in a way. That's very interesting to hear. Did you want to say something, Una? No.
Yeah, I am very. I think we need to stand united against that kinds of attitudes. Like, I hope we're not making films to watch them on the phones. There's a little bit too much work going on into them and too much money. Yes, yes, I'm uneasy with what Pascale has heard from her colleague. Yeah.
I always wonder also a negative impact, or I want to hear your opinion on it, because from a festival perspective, when one of these films get, for example, an EFA nomination quite early on its festival round, you know, they get an EFA nomination maybe, or candidacy it's now, on their premiere festival, then it already almost automatically feels old, or it doesn't feel as exclusive to screen anymore from a festival side. Is this something that you have experienced or have any thoughts on, that it can impact actually in a negative way also the amount of festivals that are programming it?
It's heavy to carry for a filmmaker, all this prize, so it could be a negative impact. Yeah.
No
comment from the directors.
No. Because our nomination came halfway through, so I would just go back a couple of sentences. I wouldn't call it a negative effect because I love my award. And maybe it has created a circumstance where it's also the kind of the trap of the second act of the second film or of the first big film, because you have so much pressure on your shoulders that you think, okay, everybody's now looking, so I cannot do something very stupid. Whereas when I was doing my first short films, like, yeah, whatever. I mean, nobody's paying attention, and now everybody's paying attention. So there is definitely that. Even like if you think about it creatively, you do not. You are very less likely to take risks, creative risks. I'm not saying monetary risks of going over budget or things like that, but just creative risks and being a bit bolder and sharper and saying maybe this is not the most slick and most correct and digestible film, but it has 20 minutes that I think are great. Yes, it doesn't work there a little bit, but and this is something that maybe you after some awards you don't allow yourself. You think, no, it has to be now that I've done this one good. I have to do the next one great, because otherwise, well, no. So this is I agree with the person, but I wouldn't call it a negative effect. A filmmaker is ready when he's ready, and if he's ready after the European Film Award, amazing. And maybe he will be ready in a few years.
How is it? I'm coming back to I'm coming back to money actually, because these awards doesn't. It's not a cash prize, for example. A lot of festival awards are. You have at least some cash prize in it. Is it preferable also to have to receive a cash prize for you as a filmmaker? What is like? How does that help you in a different way than this? How do you say? Than this recognition that you receive from these other awards? What is preferable?
But it's difficult to. I mean, I think because it's a European film. I like if it was a national academy giving the award. I would have said, okay, well, allow us to develop, give us some development deal. Like, there's some development money for the next project. That could be a good thing with the deal, with the award. But the European Film Award, it's I think it would be a bit. I don't know. I'm quite glad. I don't know. It's just such a. It's a great. I am in awe of the European film and what is done and what has been done in the European cinema, and this is why I started doing it, and this is why where my references are. So it kind of just okay, it's an honor, but it's very important that it's also devoid of money price. I don't know. There are then at the end there are festivals which can give money, which is great, and it's wonderful of them if they can. But it's also with the sponsors. It's a different. I think it's a different structure and it's a different purpose. And as I said, if it was like a national film award, it would have been nice to say, okay, well, I give you Davide Donatello, I will give you a development deal for your feature film. So you will have, I don't know, 50,000 euros, 20,000, whatever. I'm just shooting numbers to develop. It would be nice.
That is a great suggestion, maybe. Yeah. How is it? I didn't ask actually if, I don't know, in terms of national awards. Now, Bogdan is lost, I see here on my monitor. But did you, Una, receive any type of national award or national recognition also for this project? Like within...
No, but I have to mention one festival in Essonne, just outside Paris, which with the main prize was giving a very short, very small amount for development, but it had to be attached to the next project, which I thought was great. So you couldn't receive the money until the actual development for the next project started, which I thought was really, really nice, because it was encouraging. It was kind of a fostering something. For the chicken, we didn't receive. Chicken is a funny story from the very beginning, because we are a German-Croatian co-production, and we were not quite eligible for. I don't know. I don't even know whether we were eligible for the German awards, and I don't think there are any in Croatia, and there certainly aren't any in Bosnia. So no. My academy is the European Film Academy. It's fine. If somebody is not going to give me money, then I prefer it to be European Film Academy.
That sounds like a good, a good thought. How is it for you when you are also advising on film? For example, of course, in France you have César. Is this also something that you're? César is also quite commercial. It feels like, or it's a commercial recognition of a project. Does it feel like if a film is awarded this, that it's repelling audience or attracting audience rather? What do you think? No, sorry. It's a long day. No, but so if a short film is awarded with the César, which is a national award, of course, yeah, and maybe a bit more commercial, not, I mean, European Film Award is
yes,
like quite...
yes, it's closer for the French. You're very cocorico, so we prefer the local prize, like César, but I don't think it runs the same way in animation or in live action also. In live action, yeah, they are more expectative. In animation, it's less. It's less, yeah. For example, a live action short film is have an assurance to be on TV and to have kind of a good reputation, but in animation it's not working the same way. It's not for the last César was not on TV, for example. Yeah, yeah. So it's strange. It doesn't work the same. Right. Live action sounds better.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely. Or I don't think it sounds better, but maybe it does. Yeah.
For the audience and the professional, it's like that. Yeah.
Do you
We have problems to make the animation film as important as live action.
Do you see a lot of films, like can you see a trend in these films that are awarded, for example, these national awards, like what are, in terms of themes, and do you recognize a lot, are these themes and the pace and aesthetics of the films, are they quite similar or do they change over time?
It has to be social, for sure. It's very important to have this journalistic or documentary stuff on it, but also it's between 20 and 30 minutes, certain time also, and if you have some actor, it's better, but.
That's it's difficult to have it all. It's interesting actually to hear that these films that are awarded are between 20 and 30 minutes, because that strikes me as quite long for a short film. But maybe this is also what it's easy for an audience to watch films in this length.
I don't know. We choose 24 short films, and after the short list is 5. And after the Academy choose for the last one. But definitely the campaigning is very, very important.
Even in for
Even
the
in
César.
France, yes, yes.
That's actually an interesting question, because you mentioned campaigning, and this is maybe something we are not very much used to in the short film world. But is this something that you or your maybe distributors did? Like, how did you? What is there a thing as campaigning, for example, winning or to be nominated for the EFA award?
Not to be nominated, but for afterwards, for sure.
Yeah.
Because the award is attributed by voting yesterday. As a member, you vote. It was the voting. You actually vote for a short film. The members of the Academy vote. They're physical people that some of you know. But also with the short films, it's because it's not a flashy category. You have to just remind people not to miss that little box and go and see it. And if they like it, just vote for it. Just go and see the films, because there are some very, very good films. And on the VOD platform, you have the privilege of seeing all the nominated films, which is very, very nice. So maybe you kind of put the short films on not at the top of your list, and so you just have to kind of poke people, say, "Oh, see, my film is nominated. Go and see it." You can see it. I don't have to send you a link. You will not lose it in the email and all these kind of things. So there is definitely a campaign, awareness campaign. But Bogdan can tell you more about the Oscars, because I know that there is a proper campaign there.
Yeah, there were like 2 different experiences for us. We didn't campaign for the European Film Awards at all, so we had nothing up the sleeve for that. But with the Oscars, it's totally different in the sense that you don't stand for any chances if you don't campaign, and it's the national center of your country. They have to help a bit, and then you have to find a PR representative in the States. So it's more like a business in a way. And I guess that if you're not prepared, and most people coming from shorts films are not prepared, you really have to find someone experienced abroad, or either in your country if they went through such experience before. And in Romania, yes, we had some feature films nominated for the Oscars. But yes, it's more like a business in this sense, the Oscars, I mean, while European Film Awards is a lot friendlier, maybe because it's dedicated solely to the people from the film industry. It doesn't have such an awareness in the public, let's say. But so European Film Awards, it's friendlier in this respect for filmmakers, I would say.
Yeah, I think so too. And European Film Awards have now also changed a bit of their nomination system for short film, because I think when both you, Una and Bogdan, were nominated, there were, I think, 10 nominees, maybe still in the.
We had 5.
You had 5.
Yes.
Okay.
We had 12.
You had 12, okay, yeah. Because now I think there is the candidacy, and then you're working with the shortlists, so it's down to 5 then at the award ceremony, and also for the Academy to vote on. So they make sure that it's also easier to vote on the best short film, because when it's 12, it was maybe a bit too much, and it's difficult to make people watch films somehow. That's another discussion, maybe.
I think you need another panel for that.
Yes. Actually, we are running out of time now. So if there is no more questions from the audience, maybe you guys want to say some aspiring, nice words to end this talk. Maybe be a bit positive about the non-festival awards. I think we can all maybe agree after this talk that it's a good thing to be awarded, maybe with this.
It's difficult to come up with a catchline, because it's very, very much of a privilege if you're a filmmaker to just to have a little tap on your back. It's nice. It's by all means, it's not a sign that your film is better than the. There's always a battle inside, because my as they say, my muse is not a horse, and this is not a horse race. So it's competition is always a little bit uneasy when we're talking about things that we call art. But it's a tap on the back. It's an encouragement. It's a saying, I hear you. There's maybe you can say something interesting. Maybe I'll pay attention next time your film comes out, and maybe it won't be good, but I will at least see it.
Yeah.
I think that those are nice finishing words. So I want to thank you, the three of you, Bogdan and Una and Pascale. Thank you for being here. And I hope to see you soon at another festival where both of you can attend. Thank you so much, and thank you to the audience.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.